Hey guys, so today we're going to be putting on some new brake lines and brake pads on my 2015 Yamaha FZ09. The brake lines are original, so it's time to get some new lines on there and some better brake pads. So let's get right into it. All right, so today we're going to do my front brake lines on my bike and brake pads. So the first thing you're going to do is this is the reservoir for the brake fluid. So you save a bit of mess, we're going to evacuate all the fluid that's in here, so that when I take the brake lines off, that amount of fluid won't come out. Yeah. So what you're going to do, just to kind of save some mess, is I'm going to loosen this off, and then I'm going to evacuate, or as it's coming out, I'm going to evacuate what's left in the line, just so I'm not having to clean this up later. Okay, so assistant, you want to start pumping the thing? And now we're just going to repeat the process on the other side. So remove this little boot. 8mm on this side. And I'm just, because there is two lines, obviously, because there's two calipers on the front. So we just want to make sure we get all the fluid out. Great job, assistant. Ready to start pumping? So what we're going to do is we're going to take the brake lines off. I am going to be replacing my front pads with some high performance brake pads. But for now, what we're going to do is we're just going to take the lines off while everything is nicely secured. That way it stays in place. All right, so you're going to need a number 6 Allen to remove the brake lines on this side. Okay, so we cracked it. So there's going to be fluid that's going to come out of here. So we're just going to put a cloth underneath here to catch it. Now, make sure you make note that there's going to be washers. So when you're putting the new ones back on, you want to make sure that you have two washers, one on the front and one on the back. The new ones will come with them, but just make sure that you don't forget that. Nope. And then just repeat the process on the other side.
You need different gloves, Mama.
Okay. And then we're going to do this last little clip that holds this line on.
Mama, can we get...
And it's free.
Mama,
All right, so these little clips here hold the brake lines together. So you just open this little guy up, get a little flathead screwdriver in there, and then you're going to open them up just like this.
Mama, you can do it. No, just didn't work.
This guy's just being a little stubborn. There we go.
He was being rude.
Yes, it was being rude.
That's funny.
Okay. So these guys are out. And so this side is free. All right, so underneath the light, you'll see here, this is where the main hose that goes to the reservoir. There's a tiny little bracket in here. You're going to need a number 4 Allen. And it just takes off this little bracket that holds the hose. This little guy right here pops off, and then it breaks free the hose. Then come to the other side, and you want to loosen off this little clamp. Okay. Just like that. Okay, so now that we've gotten rid of two of the brackets that are holding the hose on, we want to take off the number 6 Allen here, and then we also have this little guy, which I'll just take off right now, and that releases the hose from that line. Okay, so we're going to come in here. Oh, let's get our trusty cloth, because I don't want any of that brake fluid on my bike. So,
That would be disgusting.
Here you go. Hold on to that.
We'll just put it in the pocket.
That'll work. Okay. Make sure you release both washers so we don't make a mess.
Mom, can you grab some?
All right, so I'm going to be pushing pause right now, and I am going to take the caliper off and replace my brake pads. So before I put any of the lines back on, it's just easier so I'm not fighting with it if I just do it now while the lines are off. So I'm using a number 12. Okay. So you can see my brake pads got some life left, but these are the original OE ones. So I'm going to be putting a little bit something nicer and a little more high performance, and let's get to it. Okay, so how this works, here at the back of the caliper, you're going to see, get in focus, these little tiny pins. There's one on each side, so just get in there with a little flathead screwdriver and pry up on it. You can pull it out and you see what it looks like. That way, this pin will come out and it will release the brake pads. So I think I can probably just, push it down like this. Okay, so there's that little pin. Releases the spring and then allows the brake pads to come out. So this is what I'm using for my brake pads for the front and the rear. So these are the front ones. And these are the rears. So you're going to need a little bit of Never Seas. You're going to take your brand new brake pad. And since there's 2 pistons, you're going to make a little circle on both sides. Just like that. And you're going to do that for both of them. All right, so now what you're going to do is you have to compress the pistons, obviously, because bigger brake pads means more meat. So what you're going to do is cover the hole where the fluid comes out, and all you got to do is just push the pistons in, like so. A little bit of fluid will come out of there. That's okay. All right, so now the pistons are in, and you're going to take your brake pad. I'm going to put one guy down here, and then you're going to take the other guy like this. That's what you got. Now, you're going to take your spring. I should probably flip it around like this so you can see it. You're going to put your spring in here. Oh, like that. And you're going to take your piston or your little pin, and you're just going to start routing it through. All right, so I got the pin in. And so what you're going to do is these little clips. So I didn't line up the hole properly. So all you're going to do is you're going to take the clip and you're just going to rotate so that it's upwards. So it's easier the next time you want to come and do this. So then you take your little pin. And like that. And then pin number 2. Oh. like that. So these will spread apart more when you put them over the brake disc. All right, so now we're gonna put brake pads just like that. So the 2 caliper bolts, you want to set it to 25 foot-pounds. Two for good measure. All right, and now all you have to do is rinse and repeat for the other caliper. Okay, so now that I've got the calipers on both sides installed, you want to deglaze the brake disc. This is because now that you have brand new pads, those old pads have made a pattern on the brake disc. So you want to just smooth out best that you can any ridges that you do feel. If you feel that your brake disc is got lots of ridges and it looks really bad, do a replacement. Naturally, on cars, you machine your rotors if you're replacing the brake pads. In this case, my brake disc is really, really good, like it's in good condition. So you're just going to take some nice, good quality sandpaper, and you're just going to give it a little bit of a rub to get rid of any tough edges that you might have. And you want to do it on both sides. So you do that on the front, the left, in and out. Okay, so I put the new brake lines on, and what I did is I routed it up this way first, and then I got this guy tightened on, and then I went down and I started doing all the brackets down here, put this guy on. So the brake lines that I got are the carbon fiber from Core. They're super cool. So this you'll have to take off because there were 2 on this side. Mine just only comes with 1. But yeah, so now what we're going to be doing is I'm going to be using some Lucas .4 brake fluid. We'll be putting it in the reservoir at the top here, and then we have to bleed the brakes. Make sure you get every ounce of air out of these lines as you're putting the new fluid in. And that is how you do brake lines and brake pads. I will post a video on how to properly bleed your brake lines. I thought a separate video would be more fitting so that you guys can really see a breakdown of how I do it. There's a couple different methods. I just stick with the one that I know and one that works for me. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a like and subscribe if you're not already. And we'll, as always, catch you in the next video.